They smashed the paper price to $61.96, and they want you to believe the rally is over. They want you to believe silver was just another speculative bubble, a meme trade that finally popped. They want you to believe Friday's drop was the market correcting. That story is a lie, not a small lie. A lie of omission so massive it borders on criminal negligence. Because while you were staring at the COMEX ticker, while algorithms were dumping paper contracts in New York, while commentators were explaining why silver is dead again, something happened in South Korea that makes the price of silver almost irrelevant, something that fundamentally changes the chemistry of the global energy transition. Samsung SDI, one of the largest battery manufacturers on Earth, quietly confirmed the specifications for its new solid-state battery production line. The media is calling it a battery breakthrough. They're talking about 900-mile range. They're talking about 9-minute charging. But they are missing the single most important detail, the detail Wall Street hasn't priced in, the detail mining companies aren't prepared for, the detail that makes a 1.1 billion-ounce silver deficit look like a rounding error. The secret ingredient in Samsung's new battery isn't lithium, it isn't cobalt, it isn't nickel, it is silver. And not trace amounts. We're talking about a massive structural increase in silver consumption per vehicle. A technology that moves silver from being a precious metal to a strategic energy metal. In this 4-part deep dive, I'm going to expose the silver bomb Samsung just dropped on the global supply chain. I'm going to explain the chemistry behind the silver carbon anode, run the math the IEA refuses to publish, prove there is not enough silver on Earth to electrify the global fleet using this technology, and show you why Friday's drop wasn't a crash. It was the last chance you may ever get to buy silver before the auto industry realizes it made a fatal calculation. The banks are playing a paper game. Samsung is playing a physics game. Physics always wins. This is the story of the silver carbon revolution. The chemistry wall. To understand why this news is an extinction-level event for silver supply, you need to understand a little chemistry. Don't worry, I'll keep it simple. For 30 years, the world has run on lithium-ion batteries. Your phone, your laptop, the Tesla Model Y in your driveway, they all use liquid electrolyte lithium-ion cells. They're efficient, cheap, and scalable, but they have a fatal flaw. It's called the dendrite problem. When lithium batteries are charged too fast, or charged too many times, lithium ions form tiny needle-like structures called dendrites. They grow like jagged roots inside the battery. Eventually, they pierce the separator between the anode and cathode, and when that happens, short circuit. Thermal runaway. Fire. This is why EVs take 45 minutes to charge, why they degrade in winter, why lithium-ion fires burn at thousands of degrees, why insurers quietly hate EVs. The holy grail has always been the solid-state battery. No liquid electrolyte, no fire risk, instant charging, double the energy density. Every automaker, Toyota, Volkswagen, BMW, has promised it in 5 years for over a decade. And they all failed. Why? Because they couldn't stop dendrites. Graphite anodes didn't work. Silicon expanded too much. Pure lithium metal was unstable. Then Samsung SDI found the solution. One element, one layer, one breakthrough that stops dendrites cold. That element is silver, specifically a silver carbon nanocomposite anode layer. This is not speculation. It is published science. Samsung's prototype cells use a thin layer of silver mixed with carbon to regulate lithium deposition. Silver acts as a host material. It distributes lithium ions evenly, preventing spikes from forming. The result, faster charging, smaller batteries, higher energy density, no fire risk. But there is a catch, a massive catch. To make this work, you need silver, not micrograms, grams. For the first time in history, silver is not just used for conductivity. It becomes an active electrochemical material. It becomes part of the battery's DNA. And the auto industry is about to scale this to millions of vehicles. Do you see the problem yet? When the math breaks, you might be thinking, okay, so they use some silver. Cars already use silver. True. Let's put this in context. A combustion engine car uses 15-20 grams of silver. An EV already uses 30-50 grams. That alone has strained supply. But solid-state batteries change the math completely. We are no longer talking about switches and contacts. We are talking about coating the anode of every single cell in a battery pack. Samsung's own research suggests silver loading of 5 TOD, 10 grams per kilogram of anode material. Aggressive estimates, 1.5 to 1 kilogram per vehicle. Let's be absurdly conservative. Let's assume solid state adds only 50 grams of silver per EV. Total per car, talking around 100 grams. Global car production monitors 90 million vehicles per year. If just 10% adopt this technology, 9 million cars, $100, 229 million ounces of new silver demand. Now ask the real question. What if adoption hits 50%? What if loading averages 200 grams? That's 100 plus million ounces per year. Where does that silver come from? COMEX registered inventories are already near historic lows. Global mine production is flat at 830 million ounces. We already run a structural deficit. This single technology could consume 25-35% of total global mine supply, just for car batteries. That leaves no silver for solar, no silver for electronics, no silver for jewelry, no silver for investors. This is not incremental demand. This is a step function shock, and Samsung just confirmed they're building the pilot line. This is not 2035. This is now. While banks smashed the price Friday, procurement officers were locking in long-term supply contracts. They know the math. Because without silver, those billion-dollar battery factories are worthless. The extinction equation. Let's run the numbers nobody wants to publish. Current world, pre-Samsung. Mine supply, 830 per Oz recycling. 180 hidden theaters Oz. Total, 1.01 B Oz. Demand, industrial and solar, around 600 meter Oz. Jewelry, per to 200 meter Oz. Investment, to 250 peanut Oz. We are already burning inventory. Now add solid-state batteries. Even conservative adoption pushes demand beyond total supply. And recycling won't save us. Here's the dirty secret. Gold is recycled at 90%. Silver is recycled at 20%. Why? Dispersion. Silver is industrial dust. It's smeared across billions of devices and microscopic layers. It costs more energy to recover than it's worth. So it gets buried. Solid-state batteries lock silver away for 15-20 years. The recycling wave arrives after the crisis, not before it. Mining won't save us either. New mines take 10-15 years to bring online. Ore grades are collapsing. Politics are tightening. Supply cannot respond in time. That means the only pressure valve left is price. And when price fails, governments step in. Silver becomes strategic. Allocation replaces availability. Retail loses. Industry wins. So what do? Lane 1, physical metal. Forget collectibles. Forget semi-numismatics. Industry wants atoms, not artwork. Weight beats art. Bars beat coins. Ounces matter. Lane 2, miners avoid hedged miners. Hedging kills upside. You want primary silver miners, unhedged production, operating leverage. Battery makers may buy stakes to secure supply. That's when stocks explode. Lane 3, jurisdiction, clean silver matters. USA, Canada, Australia, friendly supply chains qualify for subsidies. Risky jurisdictions will be discounted or seized. The final warning. Next week will be volatile. That is psychological warfare. Price noise does not change chemistry. Paper does not change physics. The bank smashed silver to 61.96 to shake weak hands. But Samsung just rewrote the demand curve. This isn't a bubble. This is a structural collision between technology and geology. The silver bomb has already detonated. The shockwave hits the price later. Physics always wins. If you understand this, you're early. If you ignore it, you'll pay for it later. Like, subscribe, and stay with me for part 2, where the math gets terrifying.